So if I refresh, it should be here. Nope.
Wait. Oh, yeah, it's live. There we go.
Where do I see it at?
Refresh it.
Oh, there we are.
And then click on that.
Oh, and click
So
on it?
Click on it.
All right.
So then now the comments you'll see. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
There's a little bit of delay too, right?
Yep. Yep.
Where I'm looking down?
Yes, that's the one.
It's a little delay, so you'll.
Hi, everyone. I'm Todd Cummings, Superintendent of South Bend Schools, and we're going to begin in a little bit. Joining me tonight are board members Dr. Stuart Green and 3rd District Trustee member Ms. Leslie Wesley. And so we will let everyone find their spots and it's delayed.
Yeah.
Right. So I just turned my volume off.
Yeah.
So we'll let everyone find the link.
Yeah, turn it off. There we go. Yep.
Thank you. It's not mine. I just turned my head, but I didn't turn
It's
Yeah.
about a 5-second delay.
Yeah.
my head.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for saying hello on the screen. We'll wait just a couple more minutes and let everyone join. We're looking forward to answering
Oh, I see.
questions and talking about our strategic plan and sharing a little bit about reopening. But we want to make sure that we let everyone have a chance to join us. Hello, everyone. Thank you for saying hi.
Is it on the Facebook page or the corporation page?
It's on the Facebook Live page. How many people are watching, Miss Gabby? Can you tell?
198.
Oh, okay. All right. So we have about 200 folks who are joining, so why don't we go ahead and begin. I'll say it again. I'm Todd Cummings. I'm the Superintendent of South Bend Schools. Joining me, Dr. Stuart Green, one of our members of our Board of Trustees, and also joining us tonight, Ms. Leslie Wesley. So we are all masked up. The agenda for this evening is we want to talk a little bit about the board's upcoming strategic plan, talk about how we've arrived where we are, opportunities for the community to give further input, and then we want to answer your questions. I'm sure you may have some questions about reopening. There is a board presentation on Monday at our board meeting about our reopening. And then there's another talks with Todd and another town hall on July 23rd. So we want to make sure that you have access to us and to give your opinions and comments. I'm really grateful for the parents and the teachers and specifically the students who've emailed over the past few weeks, sharing their thoughts with us as we reopen. So I have some slides behind me. So let's talk about the strategic plan. We started this work about 6 months ago, before the referendum, getting community input. We held community meetings, asking folks what they thought were the important items in the district that we needed to address, how we could improve the district. And so I'm really grateful for that input. We took that input, which must have been 100 giant sheets of paper that we had hanging in the boardroom for quite some time, and we boiled those down. We knew that using our data that we had some key priorities, but we also, with that, took a stab at addressing the vision and the mission of the district. So here we are. So these are draft. We're looking for input comments for clarification. Core values as a district. We promote a culture, where each student learns and thrives in school and beyond. We value strong relationships with students, staff, families, and community. We ensure safe schools for both students and adults. Family and community partners are essential to our success, and we conduct business honestly and are accountable to our community. Either of you have a thought about either of those or want to share? If not, I can move on. No? Okay. The draft new vision. Together with our community, we promote equity, inclusion, and justice to ensure our diverse student body achieves academic and personal success. And so if you have a thought or a question or a comment, I see the comments are adding up, and I can't wait to start reading them. Please let us know. The district vision, draft vision. We are the public's first choice for a relevant and inspiring education that creates a strong sense of community. You start to see where the board and where we are thinking about community, academic needs, and engagement. And if you were at any referendum presentation, you heard these priorities and goals. These were by using our data, by listening to our community, what we knew that we needed to address. Number one, literacy. We will advance students' reading, writing, and media literacy levels. We knew even during the referendum, we were committed to improving the literacy rates of all of our students. Equity, justice, and inclusion. We will honor our diverse community by promoting equity, inclusion, and justice. We talked about that during our referendum tours. Financial sustainability. We'll practice stewardship by making we will practice stewardship by responsibly managing the fiscal and facility resources of the district and the community partnerships. We will extend, deepen, and monitor community partnerships. I think those were it. And so those were the priorities that we shared during the referendum. And now, as the board is in the strategic planning phase, getting community input, taking the input, putting it in a draft form, there is a public survey coming up that we would love to share far and wide. We would love for you to take the survey. We're also going to use the feedback and input that we get tonight. Dr. Green, Ms. Wesley, anyone want to talk about literacy and from your standpoint why it's important?
Well, I think literacy is the building block of learning, and that was really a given. I think there are different things that we can take into account as we think about literacy, and we've tried to take as broad an approach as possible in terms of media literacy, so that students are equipped to become digital citizens. The important thing is, as we move forward, is to have a clear trajectory from K2 on, so that young people are learning to read, write, and use the digital tools that are available to become active citizens in our city and in other contexts. So that's really a key point, and we really benefited from talking to people. I know that some will feel that we didn't reach everybody, but my hope is that throughout this process, that we'll continue to reach those who felt maybe they didn't have any input at this point. And I think we're very open to expanding our understanding of what literacy is, but at the our most basic point is that literacy has to be central to our thinking about students' education, and that it's integrated across the disciplines. It's not just English language arts, it's all fields.
All right, so I'm seeing some comments. We want to tackle our comments? All right, let's tackle our comments. First, thank you for all the hellos. And joining me are George, Monica, and my assistant, Miss Gabby, who, if I need you to email me, will put my email address in the comments so we can get the information. So yes, start asking questions now, please. And we're just going to do these. So, George, why does it drop me to the bottom every single time I click on something? That's kind of annoying.
I'm not sure. I think as new questions come in,
Oh,
I think it's
okay.
shifting around.
All right, so I'm getting back to my questions. See all the ones I want to ask. All right. Here we go. It makes me. No. It makes me read them all when I get. It makes me go to all of them. All right. Well, what happens when the student refuses to wear a mask? So on Monday, we are going to talk. We're going to present our initial reopening plans with the board. And so we are currently discussing with our team, and we were discussing with teachers today, and that did come up. And so I'm going to wait and let our academic folks handle that. Thank you. Question about, what was that about? Where are the hand sanitizers and wipes coming from? We started ordering hand sanitizers and wipes as soon as we closed, getting ready for the day that we would reopen. I also want to talk about every step along the way, whether with closing or reopening, we've made with the Department of Health. And so I just want to say thank you to Dr. Mark Fox, from the Department of Health, who every step of the way has made sure that we're making the best decisions with the best medical advice, whether it was graduation, whether it's reopening schools, whether it's athletics. I just want to say thank you that every step along the way, the Department of Health has been there. I can't see your name, but you asked, did we ask staff members their greatest concern? Yes, we did. We sent out a survey that we asked staff, students, and families. We also have a Ask SBCSC link on our website. So if you have questions or comments, you can add those there. Mindy, you asked a very specific special ed question. My assistant, Miss Gabby, will put my email address there. If you have specific special ed questions, we ask that you email them so we don't identify our students. So lots of good questions. When was the survey sent out? February, I believe. And if you will email me, we will take your input as well. E-learning will be an option. We are finishing up all the details. As we did in my last talks with Todd, there will be a virtual standalone, and then there will be virtuals by school. And so we're working on the details of those, and we'll share more as we know more. If you did not receive a survey, and we've done this at Talks with Todd, board meetings, if you didn't receive a survey, you can go to Ask SBCSC, or you can email me and we will send you a survey. We will make sure that we can take your input. Kindergarten start date, Miss Gabby, I think it's the 12th. I think it's the same as everyone else, right? Kindergarten start date is the 12th. How will CTE what? I don't think that CTE right now, we're planning for fully coming back. We're planning for fully being back in school. So as long as students are here, I don't believe CTE will be impacted. There may be some concerns about job shadowing and internships, but I don't think it will be impacted. Someone said, when will all the details be shared? I'll share the first preliminary details on Monday at the board meeting, and we will make sure that it is all put on our website. Several really good questions about contact tracing. We are still working with the Department of Health to come up with our contact tracing. The reason I've skipped over questions is I'm using Facebook mobile, and every time a new question comes up, it forces me to the end. So I'm not purposely skipping questions. I'm just trying from the bottom to go back up. It's not on my doc like Talks with Todd, so I'm having trouble getting from the beginning down. What if Indiana cases continue to rise? We're taking all of our health decisions from the Department of Health. And so Dr. Mark Fox has been really amazing. Can we move start of school date back? We have no plans to move the start of school. Chad Addy, our CTE director, is on. Thank you, Chad. CTE will be in full mode. Yes, Christine, we're going to get you the information about online learning as soon as possible. See another question.
No,
Buses. So we are working with transportation. We are working on socially distancing, making sure masks and hand sanitizer are available. We're also, bus drivers in the next couple of weeks are going to drive their routes so that they're wearing full PPEs, and so they can make sure that they can manage their routes. That we'll be ready to go.
Will it be staggered times?
Currently, no, there will be no staggered times.
I want to know what extra precautions are going to be for the specialized students.
So special ed, we're working with special education. There's a committee of special ed folks that are working with our academic team. With special ed, it's life skills. There's a lot of different categories, and so we are also working with a team of teachers. Our academic folks are, and that some of the directives will have to come from pediatricians, and so we'll be contacting parents about special ed students' issues. Someone said full-blown PPE, masks, and I think they're wearing, bus drivers are wearing. So that's my train of thought.
Or shields?
Yeah, shields. I think so.
Do they wear gloves?
And they're likely wearing gloves as well. Is there? I wish there was a way to fix. Is there any way to fix this? Or see, it's not like that for me. It's not on the side, so I'm having trouble scrolling. Is there a way to get back to that?
Do you want to just take this one?
Do you mind?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm off my Talks with Todd flow, and they're coming at me so far that I can't keep up. All right. How do I get back to the beginning of it?
You want to address the reopening plan? I know that
You just go over here and you can start.
Oh, scrolling all the way up.
Yeah.
And also emergency will be off.
Actually, click there. Click in the.
Click here.
Yep. Click there. Right there in the corner.
Click right there in the corner. All right.
And then you should be able to. The comments should be right. You should be able to.
Nope.
What is going on?
Yeah.
There we go. You could just.
Oh, there it is. All right, let's go back to the beginning. Now I was off my flow. All right, are there plans to update HVAC systems? We maintain our HVAC systems. I know that we have some life skills issues, some students that we are addressing, and so we are working on that on a case by case basis and where it needs to be done. So many good questions. According to CDC guidelines, okay, so Dally, that is a contact tracing question, and so we're still working on our contact tracing with the Department of Health. Okay, best week ever and Art Beat. Those are not our events. So one's a Notre Dame event and one's a City of South Bend event. Brandy Simmental has a decision made about Hay closing. So the district doesn't have referendum dollars yet. They don't get referendum dollars until June of 2021. Therefore, the board has committed that no operational final decisions will be made until the efficiency study is complete, and that we've been able to share that with the community, and the strategic plan is complete. And so no decisions have been made about school closing one way or the other, and won't be until both the efficiency study and the strategic plan are finished. And there will be also opportunity for community feedback.
They want to know about the IB classes.
About the what? Sorry.
IB classes online.
IB classes online. Our academic team is working on that as well, and so that specifically by school, they're working on what IB online is going to look like.
Well, teachers have masks.
Teachers will either have masks or they'll have face shields. Michael Slattery, question about e-learning. We don't plan on doing e-learning unless we have to shut the district down again. And so there's no plans for e-learning.
So what happens if a child gets sick in a given class?
Yeah, so that's a contact tracing issue, and we're working with the Department of Health on what our contact tracing. We want to make sure it's really clearly laid out, and we want to make sure that all the folks are notified. Will there be needs for pairs on buses? Yes, there will be need for pairs on buses.
Will staff be tested before they enter their classroom?
Staff can get tested. We have no plans to mass test workers before they report to school. That's not a bad idea. I'm glad you shared that. Clear masks, speech staff, Chelsea, yes, we will provide shields, thank you, shields instead of mask. Email me directly. How do I apply for being a teacher who teaches distantly? So be ready to see the job description, but if you want to be a teacher, email me and we will send you an application. The job descriptions for virtual teachers will be done fairly soon. Class sizes. So class sizes, we have not capped our class sizes. We do anticipate students will move to a virtual option, and so we anticipate they'll be lower. And so with the Department of Health, we're going to do our best to keep students apart, but as long as they wear masks, we won't have to have the 6 feet of separation. Social distance in our classroom. I'm going to wear masks. We need another safety Facebook meeting in a week. There is another town hall upcoming, and there's another Talks with Todd upcoming. There's a board meeting and a board work session. Ample time, and you're always welcome to email me. How do you keep elementary kids from touching each other? Part of what we're going to have to do is, as part of our curriculum, we're going to have to instruct why we wear a mask, why we use hand sanitizer, why we wash our hands after the restroom. So part of what we're going to have to do, and talking with our academic team, we're going to have to make sure that we are providing the curricular reasons behind why we're doing what we're doing. Edward, there won't be a combination. You'll have a choice. You can either do virtual or you can either do virtual or full return. Thanks. I'm glad you like the Riley mask. We ordered them for graduation. Yes, Riley students who graduate are going to have one. Are other students going to be able to get one?
Yeah, we'll make them available online.
Yes. Dally, lots of good questions. Teachers will not be out of sick days. There is I forget what the that state statute is. It's a federal statute. You don't have to use your sick days to be out for the coronavirus.
What about the NEA? What role have they played in determining the opening?
Yep, great question. So we shared our plan yesterday. We shared our plan today. We have another day of sharing on Friday. We will discuss. Is what's called discussion. We will discuss next week, and we're gonna keep discussing until we have all of the plans all worked out.
And how could we distinguish between e-learning and virtual learning?
I just got a text from someone. Virtual in school is basically virtual in school looks a lot like e-learning. We're going to make sure though that it's as synchronous as possible, and we're going to make sure that teachers interact with students more and in deeper, more meaningful ways than maybe they were able to during our early closure. Yes, Katie, parents are going to have to make sure that if your student is sick or staff people, if you're sick, you got to stay home. This student continue to learn if they're quarantined. And excellent question. If a student is quarantined, then they will have to move to a virtual option and then move back. But if they are quarantined, they'll have to move virtually and come back so their education doesn't get in the way.
Please explain again the difference between e-learning and virtual learning. E-learning is when the government shuts us down and we have to all be at home.
So think about three different options. There's in-person, fully come back. There's virtual, standalone virtual, that's where you go to school. And then there's virtual per building. You'll be assigned a teacher with a laptop. They will likely do more interaction. It'll be more synchronous than e-learning. So we've changed the nomenclature to be virtual looks a lot like e-learning with a lot more teacher support. Will teachers be able to teach mask free? Probably not. You'll at least have to have on a face shield. We have not announced a date yet for when parents have to decide. We're still working through those decisions. Laura, masks are not enough protection. I appreciate that. We are taking our directives from the Department of Health. None of us are medical doctors, but I assure you that we are taking our advice for how we're reopening, how we're keeping students and families safe from the Department of Health. And I want to stop here, and I'll answer all our questions tonight. Our top priority is to ensure that our students and our staff people are safe. I know, listening to the news, it's very scary. I know that there's a lot of misinformation, but we have to do the best we can do. And right now, the best we can do are our local medical experts who follow the CDC guidelines, who follow all the best research. So keep in mind, the Department of Health keeps you safe from getting food poisoning at your favorite restaurant, keeps you safe in your county at all your public events. These are the folks that we trust to help us reopen school. And I just want to say that Mark Fox, the commissioner, has been amazing, and he's looked over our plans. We'll continue to look over our plans as we need to address them. And we know it's scary. We're at a place where we wear masks to work and masks around our coworkers and board members, just to be in a room to do a town hall event. And so we're doing our best with the Department of Health to make sure that our students and our staff are safe.
Should we worry about teachers being displaced if not enough kids come back?
We should not at this moment, no. And that's really preliminary. We have to see who comes back. We have to see how many students we have, how many folks we need for virtual learning. So I would merely have to speculate about that. But at this moment, there's no plans to reduce teachers because of virtual learning. We are not taking temperatures every day. We may do it randomly throughout the day. The Department of Health actually did not recommend taking temperatures of every student every day. They did recommend it randomly, and we're working out what that process may look like.
If
oh.
If I go to school, if I sign up for virtual, can I come back a month later, or how long do I have to stay in the virtual?
So we're working on that. I say you have to say a semester. It will likely be you'll be able to flow in and out. My team and I have been talking about that, and it will probably be where you can flow in and out. If you go to the standalone, it will probably be a semester, but you'll probably be able to flow in and out of the virtual.
Can we come up with a plan so that families understand what's going to happen moment to moment during a given day?
It would need to be much more synchronous, but as we planned for what virtual learning is going to look like, we would like for it to be much more synchronous and what the plan looks like for day to day.
In the event that teachers get sick, are we good with substitutes? Do we have substitutes lined up to enter the building?
Well, if teachers get sick and they're in a classroom and that classroom has to go home, then that teacher would just continue teaching virtually.
Okay.
But we do have a company that provides our substitute teachers, and I think we are going to be good with them. How are we protecting teachers at risk? Sanitizing, washing hands, face masks. Teachers will be selected for virtual learning. It will be a mix of a job description, and if teachers meet criteria in doctor's notes or their doctors won't let them return, then they will be the first folks that we give virtual jobs to. Hi, Pam. It should not affect Plato teachers in the high school at all. We'll still be doing Plato credit recovery. Working through them. We talked about masks in the classroom. At this moment, there is no plan for teachers to do both in-person and virtual. You would do one or the other. I talked about transportation earlier. And I know some of you are sending me medical information, and I'm really grateful. Thank you. But we are clearly taking our medical information from the St. Joseph County Department of Health. So I appreciate you sending me the medical information, but that's where we're taking our information from. Band. Excellent question about band and choir and music. So we're going to have to make sure students are safe, masked, plexiglassed, socially distant. It will likely cause changes in what band, choir look like, but those are things that we need to offer our students because they love them and it makes for better citizens. So we're working on how to do that. Christy, if teachers get sick from COVID, it's not workers' comp. It's a new state legislature. It's a new state code that it doesn't use your benefit days. If a parent chooses to homeschool, will their child be guaranteed a spot back? We will always welcome your students back. So tell all your friends and neighbors, if you homeschool your child, we'll always welcome you back. Specials will be provided during virtual learning. It will be really difficult because they tend to be band, choir, and music. So specials during virtual learning would be difficult. Maria's asking about contact tracing. I talked about that earlier. We're working on a plan that we will unroll on Monday. So we're working on a contact tracing protocol. Ellie Tricker did ask about social emotional learning resources. Yes, excuse me. We are unrolling social emotional learning resources for our teachers, for our students, specifically how they interact with social workers. We have already deployed social workers this year. And so our Assistant Superintendent of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion and her team are coming up with ways to talk, to communicate, and to have socio-emotional resources available for students. and for teachers so they can interact with their students? These are really great questions. I'm really grateful for them.
They
Sorry.
wanna know if they're gonna still have recess?
Yes, we're going to have recess. I was on a meeting today and I said, we're going to have recess. Now, we got to figure out who's going to wipe down playground equipment. Students need recess. We need more recess, not less. We're going to have recess.
About clubs, after school programs?
Clubs, we're working on after schools because we've got to get students home. We can't clump. We're still working on what the after school looks like. We want to get them back first before we really worry about the after school. But if the IHSAA is letting students do athletic events, then I imagine clubs probably won't be an issue. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do or at least a root of the question before I answer. I get pretty excited.
Just so you know, I think people are saying they can't hear me or
Oh,
Leslie,
okay.
so could you repeat the questions?
Oh, okay. Your questions, you think?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm trying to go through what I've already answered.
Why don't you tell them, Dr. Cummings, when are you gonna have the solid plan together for everybody? I think that's
Yes.
what parents are asking on here because they are planning their school year.
Yes. So the solid plan is going to be available on Monday. I will walk through all the details of the plan at our board meeting. We will put it on our website. Now, there are some other tweaks we'll have to make. There's some, issues that come up that we will have to address. We're going to address all of our questions. We're keeping an FAQ. So Monday will be the time when the first initial plan will be out. Now, I do want to say that 2 weeks ago, we did submit a press release along with the Department of Health and all the other area superintendents that provided the basic guardrails of how we will re-enter school. So hand sanitizer, face masks, limited folks entering the building. So that provides pretty good guardrails. And so what we're doing now is just working out all of the details.
How many kids can be on a bus and still maintain social distancing?
You know what? I'm going to have to get back to that simply because my transportation director is on vacation today. So
You should repeat the question.
Oh, thank you. How many students could be on a bus? I'll have to get back with you on that. How many virtual teachers will there be in the fall? I don't have a number yet. What about drama clubs? We're going to do our best to have clubs as well.
Connor's everywhere.
Yes, enrollment will be coming. We're working out all the details. Will outside providers be allowed in schools? Yes, but on a limited basis. They'll have to follow our
I think there's a training session that'll be.
hand sanitizer and mask, and probably not initially. But we are going to allow our contracted services to come in.
Is it possible to have a COVID coordinator in every building? To make sure procedures are being followed and
Excellent question. We don't plan on adding more staff. We may add some more cleaning and custodial staff, but that'll be what the principal does. We won't be adding
so the
specific.
principal will be more or less supervised to make sure.
Yes,
Okay.
So the principal will be responsible for all the training, the safety,
absolutely.
and working
Right.
with the custodian staff, or the custodian and head engineers.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Alexandra, thank you. I know you emailed earlier this week about a social worker at Jefferson, and I know Stephanie Stewart Bridges emailed you back. We are working on that. Corey, thank you. I probably skipped over a lot of questions. I'm trying to get to all of them. Dress code for middle school, please contact your principal, and they will be able to tell you the specifics of that.
Dr. Cohen, why don't you let them know that those questions can be put on the website? You can answer those questions, and then George and I can put it on the website.
Oh, yeah. What we do, anytime we do talks with Todd or town halls, we copy all the questions, and we make sure that we put them on our website, because everything that we're hearing now helps us very much in tweaking our plans. So I'm I'm really grateful. Adding custodial staff, we're talking about it. We don't want to spend a lot of additional money, but we know we're probably going to have to add a few. Virtual learning should not affect you getting into college. What about bathrooms? We're working on a protocol to make sure that they are sanitized and cleaned.
What about recess in middle and high school?
There are no plans to add recess in middle and high school right now, but that's an excellent question. Middle school orientation. I think there is a date for that, and Gabby can put the date here. So many good questions. We're working on who is going to wipe down desks in between use. What about?
Have we agreed on platforms that teachers will use? Will it be Google? Will it be Zoom?
It will likely be Google Hangout. That's what we use, and we don't have any other platforms beside that. We did not consider we did early on consider a hybrid model, but that just wasn't working for us. We have 6 different, Jenny, options for lunch and breakfast, and we're working on those with NEA tomorrow. Schools, the current protocol of schools will be disinfected daily. Yes. Heather, we are making hallways one way, and we are adding tape to that.
What about those skeptics who don't think that social distancing is possible?
Yeah, I agree that it's hard to have students social distance. But what the Department of Health has told us, if you're wearing masks, then you don't have to socially distance. Now, we are going to be mindful of that and try to keep folks separated. But as long as you have a mask on and everyone's wearing a mask, then you don't have to be socially distant. Jennifer, if you participate in virtual, you will be allowed to play sports. When you ask teachers about their biggest concerns, what were their top 3 concerns of high school? I don't have the data in front of me, but I can sure get that for you. That's a really good question. I'm flattered that you think I would have known that tonight. Thank you. How many students are in a classroom during the day? It depends on the square footage of the building and the square footage of the room.
To what extent will teachers have a choice whether they'll teach virtually or otherwise?
Yeah, so I addressed that very early on. We'll have to have job descriptions. We're working on the virtual options, so very soon. So we'll make sure it's on our website. We will connect with NEA to make sure that they know, and we'll share it on all of our media platforms. Laura, every single day we're going to have to monitor face masks. I know people have emailed me today about folks not wearing them. I get right with the principals. It's going to take all of us to make sure this goes right.
So what could be in place to ensure that everyone's wearing a mask? The parents were in locker cleanout yesterday, and there were kids coming into school without masks.
Sure. We're going to have to, we'll make sure that we have disposable masks for students who don't have them. We'll have masks for folks who enter our building. But principals will have to monitor mask wearing in schools. I'm going to wear a mask in schools. And so we'll just all have to work together to make sure folks are wearing their mask. Someone said you couldn't hear other board members. Dr. Green asked a question about masks. There will not be COVID testing in schools. We believe there are ample free testing centers in St. Joseph County, so we will not be offering testing in buildings. Washington has a site, Harrison has a site, but we won't be offering testing per se. Yes, the parent will be contacted if the child's teacher tests positive for COVID. Working on lunches, we'll let you know as soon as possible. Students who don't wear masks, that's going to be them and their principal and their parents are going to have to work that out. But if you're going to come to school, you've got to wear a mask until the Department of Health tells us that you don't have to. Miss Olitha Jones, one of our board members, is joining us. Thank you so much. What about ISTEP retakes? The state hasn't made up their mind about what they're doing about assessment, so we're gonna defer to them. Constant contact. Yes, we're gonna make live the Ask SBCSC questions, the Talks with Todd questions, the town hall questions. We're going to put them all in one spot so folks can go through and scroll and see all the questions. We won't provide iPads, but they all have, someone said if we choose virtual school, we provide iPads. We won't provide iPads, but all our students will have access to Chromebooks. Studebaker, the HVAC system, you may have emailed me earlier. We are looking at that. I talked about mask enforcement. It's for web-based subscriptions. Divert the money we spend on. I'm assuming you're a teacher, Kelly. Pearson is paid for out of a different fund, and so we've already committed to that. But if you want to email me, I would like to know what web-based subscriptions you would like. How many students will be in a classroom? I'm sorry?
You should talk to Mr. Adams.
Oh, you can also talk to Mr. White as well. How will PE classes look? We're working on that. They'll have masks and they'll be socially distant. Arts virtually. We've had some of those conversations, but we haven't finalized those yet. Where is that teacher pay increase? I'm assuming you're a teacher. Or, so pay raises with teachers have to be negotiated by the NEA, and so I can't negotiate outside of the bargaining unit, and we don't get our money, we don't get referendum money until June of 2021. Building and Grounds is working on that. ISTEP, we're leaving that to the state. How do you have a gym class with a mask on? It's it's a new reality we're all going to have to get up and get used to. When I get up and I run and there's people around, I put a mask on. Same with the gym. What happens when we get tired or complacent about taking sanitation? We're not going to be able to. We're going to have to make sure that schools are clean. We're wearing masks. We're following our protocols.
So, could you make sure you repeat this question?
Of course.
But for parents who are concerned about sending their children to school, what are we doing to try to improve online learning and teaching?
How are we improving online learning with teaching? Was a question that got asked. So we're working really closely with our new chief academic officer. How do those virtual sessions look more synchronous? How do teachers interact with their students? How do we make sure that we develop courses that are rich in content and that students get ample time to communicate with their teachers? Who's supplying hand sanitizer? We are. Hand sanitizers, families will not be responsible. We are doing that. We are providing masks. Deb Searier, principal at Marquette. Thank you. Jeff, we have spent the past 2 days in discussion with NEA. That's a union obligation, so we are talking and discussing with NEA. We have another day tomorrow. Plexiglass partitions. It's partitions. In some of them, so libraries, speech therapies, things like that. So there will be plexiglass in some of the classroom. My fifth grader, I missed that one. Will kids be sent home if they're unwilling to wear a mask? I'm going to let the principal do that. Are we using lockers? We are. What will I do if a kid, and passes? That's highly speculative. So I'm not going to get into that. That's a PE. We've answered that. Students, see what percentage of students need to attend school in person. We don't have a need. We just want parents and students to have whatever option that they want. Are we stocking up on? Oh, I'm sure hand sanitizer. Yes, we are. We have plenty. Where do I look after the meeting to see an answer to my question, Rachel? So we will get to it. It will probably be tomorrow. It will be on our website. George, where do we put like FAQs? We can put them somewhere, can't we?
Yeah, we'll put them
We'll put them somewhere.
main page of the website.
How quickly are you to pivot to e-learning? We just finished e-learning, so I think we could pivot. Students have devices. I think we could pivot pretty quickly.
Are you concerned about keeping schools clean with only one custodian in the building?
Am I concerned about keeping schools clean? Yes. Regardless of the amount of custodians, I'm concerned about keeping schools clean. I'm concerned about making sure that students are washing their hands. They're using hand sanitizer. We're wiping doorknobs off. Yes, I'm concerned. I'm concerned in my own building. Yes, I am concerned. So it'll be something that we have to manage and monitor all together. Let's see. There was one small survey sent to teachers. It was the one we sent out was a pretty lengthy survey. Send me your questions, send me your comments, and if you email me, I think we can probably still send the survey out, can't we? We can still send you the survey if you want. State is now experienced. Okay, can't talk for the state. Talked about hybrids. Heather, I know you have been unable to find Lysol wipes. One, Costco has them because I just stocked up again. And two, we pre-bought. So we have been at reopening as soon as we close. So we've been working on this for 4 months. And how we do that. Jim did that. Jeff, yes, I have taken off my mask during the meeting. I did take a drink of water. Everyone else in the room has a mask on. Why can't SB make returning to school optional like Mishawaka? We are. There's an option to go virtually. HIPAA rights, HIPAA rights and is really difficult, and so we have general counsel who's looking at that. And not gonna teachers having to do both jobs. You're not gonna have to do both. Folks are pointing out that I coughed, drank, wiped my face, I didn't touch my mask. Not the front of my mask. I try not to do that. At what point will a building or district move virtually? There's a percentage ratio that we work with the state and Department of Health. Yes, students need to wear a mask all day. Yes, if a doctor says a child can't have gym, yes, that doctor's note will suffice.
Is there a threshold when we might actually move to virtual learning?
We don't have that established yet, and we would have to take our recommendations from the Department of Health.
Can you repeat the question?
Oh, is there a threshold that we would close the district down again? We would have to take our recommendations from the Department of Health. IB teachers, that is one of those things that we're working on. How do IB teachers do both? Jenny Mass, a lot of good principal participation tonight. Thank you. Yes, students will be drinking out of water bottles. Thank you, Ellie Tricker, about masks. We are going to leave that to the principal. We're gonna let principals handle that. If a principal is absent, who will manage students. Most of our buildings either have APs or aspiring leaders or CISs.
So one of the concerns a parent has expressed is that it shouldn't, whether a child wears a mask or not, shouldn't be left up to a principal. Have we plans as a corporation to simply say this is a policy?
We have, and I've even said tonight that the expectation is that you wear a mask. So have we planned as a corporation to wear mask and to say that? Yes, we have, and I'm saying it tonight. If you enter our buildings, you have to have on a mask. Mr. Cummings, please answer the question you just asked. How are you planning to perform virtual? I think that's old because I thought I went into that. And how do we pick teachers? So teachers with medical problems. We're going to be working with our HR staff to ensure that teachers who can't return are able to teach virtually. And then we will also ensure that teachers may have the right to bid for those jobs.
They want to know if a bus driver becomes ill, can you just explain that we have subs?
Oh, if a bus driver becomes ill, we have bus subs. So we have someone that will drive the bus. So 6 o'clock was our firm stop time. I know I haven't gotten to all of them tonight. Ms. Wesley and I need to get to a ribbon cutting of our new CTE house that our students built. I will answer the questions. George and Monica will put them on the website. And so we will make sure that every question's answered. If you have a question specific that you haven't asked tonight, feel free to email ask SBCSC, and we will get them answered. All right, I have 3 more minutes. Let's see how far I can get.
Dr. Cummings, can you tell them where they can come to the school board meeting on Monday at, where they can view it?
Yes, the school board meeting, because of the governor's face mask order, is virtual.
The link.
We will put the link. Where do we put the link, George? Is it on our website?
Yeah.
We will put the link on our website. And so please join us. There will also be a comment email address, but please join us for the board meeting on Monday. But we will get all the questions. Excuse me. Yes, someone's going to say I coughed again. I did, but I had a mask on. We will get all the questions answered. They won't be tonight, so it will probably be tomorrow. Is on my time? Really? Ugh, I love doing this. I wish I could just do this all evening. But anyway, thank you for all your questions. I appreciate them, even the ones typed in capital letters. We're going to get to them. I appreciate this is my first. I've had all caps before, but I appreciate them. We are going to get to them. I appreciate you taking the time. There's a Talks with Todd upcoming. There's another town hall in Spanish. Actually, there's 2 Talks with Todd upcoming. So please join us for that. The town hall in Spanish. There's a board meeting upcoming. And if we need to have an additional Talks with Todd, I'm happy to do this. I love doing this. So thank you for being here. I also want to just give a shout out. I know Mr. Addy is here on the comment. I just want to say a shout out to our CTE students who are ribbon cutting and unveiling their house that they built. We are very proud of them, and so I want to make sure that I don't miss that. But thank you all, everyone, for being here tonight, and have a great rest of your evening. I will let you hit so I don't delete it.
Honor.
Hang on, they're still.